Hi, this video is designed to help you with your Waves exit ticket. So before you watch the video, I would suggest you read through the exit ticket and get a sense of the questions. If you need to, go ahead and pause the video now. In the first part of the exit ticket, it says to label a diagram. Here is the diagram, and on the diagram, you will see that there are arrows labeling different parts of the wave. So A is pointing to this top part, B to the bottom part, C from the middle to the top, and D between two top parts of the wave. What you're going to do in the space here is you're going to write down what each of these arrows are indicating. For example, A is pointing to the top. Is that the amplitude, crest, frequency, trough, or wavelength? If you think the answer is trough, you would put trough here. If you think it's wavelength, you put wavelength here. So let's say I think the answer is frequency. I'm not saying it is. That's not the correct answer. I would write that there. Okay? So that's what you're doing in the first section. The next section, you have three waves, 1, 2, and 3. And notice that they have different sizes and shapes. What you're asked to do here is figure out which wave is the longest, has the longest wavelength, which one has the shortest, which one has the highest amplitude, which one has the highest frequency, and which one has the lowest frequency. And to do that, all you're going to do is write the number of the wave that you think corresponds to that statement. For example, which wave has the longest wavelength? Maybe you think the one that has the longest wavelength is wave number 2, so you would put 2 here. I'm not saying it's 2. In fact, it is not 2, but that's what you would do if you think that. The last part, you are analyzing this data which shows a wave. And you have to determine the measurement for the wavelength and the amplitude, and then for the frequency. So let's start with the wavelength. If you think that the wavelength of this wave could be measured from here to here, from here to here, then what you would say is the wavelength is 4 meters. So you put 4 meters there. And that should be meters. Let's go ahead and change that. So if you think that's it, you would put 4. That's not the answer, but it could be. So you would have to decide that. If you think the wavelength instead is going from the very bottom to the very top, then that would be 0.2. If you think the wavelength goes from the middle to the top, that would be 0.1. So you're using this graph to sort of help you figure out the measurements. Now, the thing that's important, though, is you have to know what a wavelength is. You have to know where a wavelength starts and where it ends to measure it. Is it going from here to here? Is it going from here to here? Is it going from here to here, right? So once you have that, you can put the number in using the graph. The last part says, and the same for the amplitude. You have to figure out what the amplitude is to put in the measurement. The last part says, if it took 1 second for the wave to pass, what is the frequency? So you have to go back to your understanding of frequency to figure that out. In the case of frequency, you're not necessarily going to use the measurements here, but you are going to have to count something. So that's my hint to you. All right, that's it for this instructional video. If you need help, this is open notes, so you can always go back to your wave notes that you took. All right, I hope you found this helpful. Have a quality day.